Hello. Answer number one. A unique learning point of reading relate to the ministry context and for which it was such a unique learning point. It's a chapter 5 in the honor and shame section. I attract a lot of attention. The part says that people are more likely to choose the correct behavior based on society's expectations. That is to say, there is often not honest behavior from people. Instead, it is an inauthentic behavior. The only reason is that if you don't not comply with the rules that dictate your society, you will be seen as wrong. It catches my attention when we talk about when we talk about the societies where you live. Why do I say this? Because I live or grew up in a society where the Christian culture, life based on rules, life in black or white. Today you are good, but your behavior is not good today, then today is bad. Now I'm going to talk about a more miniature society, the local church. The local church where I grew up was the way to teach me the behavior of a Christian. Now I'm going to talk about an even smaller society. It's my family. Hence, the rules were stringent. Much of the behavior that I had in my childhood was motivated by fear of receiving consequences from my family, from my parents. So practically in my youth, I had a knowledge of the Bible and I had many questions for my parents. Still, at the same time, in the Bible, I had learning what should I honor my parents. So I had to keep quiet all the time. Even if I disagree with the rules they gave me at home. So I grew up with biblical teaching where I can assure that my parents and the church where I grew up had a good desire. And this was that I honor God with my actions, but at the same time, under the parameters that they gave, there was not opportunity to think yourself. You only had to follow the instructions of the adults. Doing a reflection now as an adult, I think it would have been a good idea to help me think, to help me reflect on my childhood. But I also understand that when we are children, many times we are not going to have the best reflections. Therefore, now as adults, I can agree that many times the rules that my parents and the society where I grew up gave me were not the best, but they were necessary for me to learn. The book's example about honor and shame in the Old Testament recounts King David's since reminded me a lot that as adults we want our children's having the right from of other to my honor of a father. always remains high. I'll often be upset when my son does not obey the rules that I give in front of other people. I learn then that I must be careful. I must analyze the real reason why I want my child to obey. That is, I want my child to obey to honor God, or I want him to follow so that others see that I have given him an excellent biblical education. This applied in ministry helps me to be aware that is the context in which I grew up. Maybe it was how I should have been guided. That doesn't not mean that I should follow the same pattern. In the church where I currently serve, it is not the teaching that I should give to parents. However, taking into account that each child is different, each family is different, the Word of God can be taught according to the context of each family. If they have family that just give an indication Bible, will have the excellent opportunity to make reflection. And perhaps your children learn from this reflection. Still, there will be families who have to guide their children with a stricter indication, but always aim to glory God.